And we're back for live action tonight as the semifinals start right here in Season 6 of the AHL on PSN. Hi, everyone. TSibs with you. Joining me tonight, Advanced and Ceeg, as we get ready to look at both these games tonight. And, of course, two games for both series tonight, 9:45 and 10:45. Hopefully you'll be able to stay with us and watch these games tonight. A couple of, obviously, interesting matchups tonight. One we expect to be a barn burner. The other one we don't know what to expect out of that one, but we'll talk about that here shortly. Again, hi, TSibs with you. And, again, Ceeg and Advanced joining me tonight for this game. You know, we talked enough about this on Friday night about what's coming up with these matchups. And, you know, we got the lineups now. And I think we could talk a little bit about what we see with these lineups and what to expect out of these games tonight. You know, we've got, you know, the first matchup with Charlotte and with the Devils. The Checkers going with Customs, SFC and Alexander. Up front, Schwartz and Darth on defense, and Flyers in net. Meanwhile, the Devils with Bennett, Rixer, and Boog up front. TVG and Big Gren back on defense, and Lakeinen in net, starting out strong with the defense on that one. Again, Rixer is a guy that we didn't see the other night, but again, good offensive player, but also knows how to play good defense on the center. I'm expecting to see a good amount of defense on the Devils as usual, and it'd be interesting to see what this lineup that the Checkers have put out tonight can do against that Devils defense. The other game tonight to discuss is let's see here. The other game tonight to discuss is the Moose and the Barracuda. Obviously, in their game one, JMM, Nazi, and Lobo are up front. Layden Chanderson on defense, and Dr. Nasty playing net for the Moose. On the other side for San Jose, Matt Loxta, Pasta, and User up front. Big line for them. Not a shock that that's who we're seeing. Loki and Jay Beal on defense, and Nuo Sid playing in net tonight for San Jose. And again, you know, top lines, it looks like in this Moose San Jose game, going for that. Are we surprised to see these big lines start out in game one right away?
For which game?
For San Jose and Manitoba?
Not really. I would expect them to. I kind of figured they would just clash right at the beginning and see what happens. I give it to the Cuda for the most part anyway, so I think they're going to win. But if the Moose do actually take it, it'll be an interesting way to start the season or start the series, and that could really change up the strategy for the rest of the series. So I like the idea. It'll make a fun game to watch, and this is going to be interesting.
Yeah, I'm not really surprised to see those lineups. I'm really excited to watch them. Seems like both teams just decided to come out guns blazing today, so thought it'd be fun.
So now it doesn't look like anyone's really thinking of any kind of major strategy. I think it's just put out, you know, who you can and try and win right away. I'm assuming that's kind of what these guys are looking at. Of course, you put out, you know, for the first team that has to put their lineup out, and in the case of the Moose in San Jose, it's the Moose who have to put their lineup out there first. You know, once you see that top line, would you have done anything different than what San Jose did? Would you still go out with the User Pasta line, or would you try and steal a game one from that top line?
I probably would have put my third line out and just kind of see what happens. Hope that we may win it, or hope that they'd win it, but if for the most part don't, not a big deal. You'll probably get the next two and then have a good chance for the rest of the series. But it is kind of tough giving up that first game. I think I would have done it. That being said, now that you look at the actual people, I'm pretty sure Cuda can win this game anyway. They're definitely favored. At least the website thinks so. aside from goalie, but it could go either way, I guess. I don't think I would have done this, but it'll be interesting to watch.
I think it just kind of speaks to User's confidence in his team. I'm not even sure that he's line matching. He's probably just like availability, and he thinks that like whoever goes out can win.
Does seem to be. I mean, it does seem to be an issue, and we've seen it in other seasons where, players, and sometimes it happens like if the end of the season's coming during a holiday, whatever that might be, or during the summer, we saw that a lot because people are going away on vacation in August, and so you wind up losing a lot of players right around playoff time. This is not that time of the year where it really should happen, but that's always that's always something that you have to be concerned about. We're getting, we're in the middle of January. There could be players going back to college. It could be something along those lines where they're not going to have the connectivity or whatever the case may be. So I think there's always an outside factor that winds up being, causing some issue with lineups. But I think we've seen that more than not in the last couple of seasons where teams have struggled fielding players deep into the playoffs for one reason or another.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I've made the playoffs once or twice, and you never really know what's going to happen, but it's happened multiple times where the people just don't show up. Like, oh, well, we traded for that guy, and he played a couple of times during the rest of the season after trade deadline, and then just disappears. What happened? So you can't really expect that, but we do know that both these teams are very good teams. It's now deep in the playoffs, so you wouldn't really expect it as much. They all seem to be pretty invested in this. One thing I was thinking is that now that Patriot is back, or they at least say he's back, maybe it makes sense they don't want to throw the third line, which he'd be in, under the bus right at the beginning. Maybe let him come back and play an easier game just to get the rust off. So I was thinking maybe that could be something too. So maybe they'll throw it out. But
they also had to ban a guy for a third line, I think, like this weekend.
Who?
So they've got a new guy, SFL.
Really?
Yeah.
What was the ban for? Do you know?
He missed 3 games.
Oh, they got rid of him.
Yeah.
Okay,
wow.
That's interesting. Well, that'll change things up a bit.
Yeah, I mean, losing anybody for any reason or having any kind of roster changes late like this, deep in the playoffs, it's too much. And I know that the Moose somehow survived not having a couple of players late in the finals all of a sudden not being available. And somehow they still wound up winning. It is just, this is the toughest time to be losing players. And certainly on the other side of it, if Patriot does come back and is going to play, that's a hell of a boost to a team to get that kind of quality back once you're in the semis. I mean, that's a big positive.
Yeah, they lose one guy, gain one guy back. And, realistically, the guy they're gaining back is 3 to 4 times better than the guy they're losing. So it's not the worst situation.
Well, it looks like the Barracuda are searching. I think the game is hopefully going to be starting up here soon. Looks like both teams are. Well, I'm not sure what's going on here. They're doing a search for a game, and they're playing. I don't know if they're searching for a warm up a few minutes before game time, but they don't seem to be looking to get anything going anytime soon. So interesting to see what they're doing there. Meanwhile, on the other side, Flyers has his stream up, but his team's still getting together at this point. So hopefully we get a game going in the next 5 minutes or so, and we're able to call this one. On the other side, I mentioned again, some of the players going for the Checkers and the Devils, and of course 2 good goaltenders on either side of the ice with Flyers and Lakeinen. And we saw Lakeinen on a Wednesday night in that final Game 7 where, the Devils playing in a very defensive game. But, I think Lakeinen, to me, is probably, Flyers is playing very good too. But, you said it a little bit the other night, Ceeg. And the more I thought about it, the more I'm thinking, you know, if Lakeinen can play the way he did the other night, I don't care who they're playing and what kind of offense they have. You know, it's going to be a very tough game to beat the Devils, and maybe they have the slight advantage tonight just because of the goaltending situation.
Are you thinking of changing your predictions?
No, I'm not going to change it. I mean, I don't know. It's not a big difference, but and I have a lot of respect for Flyers. I just saw a few things the other night where, yes, he made some really good saves, but he had a few go by him that were a little questionable. And the way Lakeinen played and the anticipation and the positioning that he showed the other night, I mean, I just think that everything from his game is right on. And so, you know, if he gets some help up front and doesn't have to deal with a lot of second chances, I think the Devils are going to make it incredibly hard tonight. And remember, they've got, you know, they're putting their lineup in first, so they've got the advantage to put in what they feel they need to go, you know, put in for this first game.
Yeah, I think they made a smart choice too. They look like they have a good lineup here. I can't see at least, and again, like I said before, the website seems to agree. They're favored in every single stat except one person decided to vote for Charlotte and no one voted for the Devils. But I just can't see how the Checkers are gonna win this one. This is a good lineup they put out. It's probably their best lineup, I would assume. So we'll see what happens though. It could be an interesting game. I assume there's gonna be trapping from the Devils side. It may shut the Checkers down completely, and if they keep getting caught and they're kind of loose and they're circling, I think the Devils may take this one maybe 3-4-1.
Yeah, it's funny. If you look at the starting lineups and you look at the stats, you know, everybody on the Devils side, well above a, you know, plus minus, you know, well above zero on everybody on that side. And you've got a couple of guys on the opposite side for the Checkers who are in the negatives. And so, you know, that always calls to question what kind of defense they're going to show. And is it all going to be run and gun for Charlotte, or are they going to be forced to try and play a little more defensively tonight? Especially with the Devils, who, you know, play a great defense on their own. And so, do you want to give them, you know, unwarranted opportunities because you're pushing the game a little much? That's the balance I think the Checkers have to figure out.
Yeah, well, the Checkers definitely didn't put their first line out tonight, and they don't have their best defenseman out. That's for sure. So I think Charlotte may have just been looking at this as a giveaway. So they'll throw out their bad line, and which is pretty ballsy for not being home advantage. You just throwing out not your best line, hoping that you catch a fish or catch a big fish, and that's exactly what they got. They got Birmingham's best line out. So this may be working to their strategy as well. It could be both teams are pretty happy with the situation.
Well, we're still waiting on these teams to get together. I see that it looks like Charlotte has got their squad together, and they're about ready to start up, hopefully. That game and hopefully getting going in a couple of minutes. Meanwhile, not sure what San Jose is doing at this point, but we'll try and figure it out here momentarily.
Oh, it just went live, so Pass has got 2 other people. They got 3 people in their dressing room right now. And those are 3 pretty good guys right there, just sitting waiting. Pasta, User, and Jay Beal.
Well, we'll be getting to that shortly. Again, still, it's interesting. I'm looking at, to me, I'm looking at Pasta's stream. Looks like they're still warming up, but maybe he's got a different stream I don't know about. We'll hopefully have this game on for you soon enough. But yeah, the guys on the other side for Charlotte are getting together. They're almost in here, and we'll get these games going soon. Again, semifinals starting tonight, games 1 and 2. 2 games every night, a little bit different than obviously what we used to do for the previous seasons. 2 games a night, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday if need be, and then of course a game 7 on Wednesday. Do you guys like the way that setup is to have 2 a night?
Not really. It may be low, obviously, but I don't know. I can't even recall how it was done in the past. I
think
guess
there was
we were
just
playing Thursday. We had an extra day.
Yeah, and I think we were just doing one on Sundays, if I'm not mistaken. I think there was just a game one on. I don't remember offhand. I think that's how it was, but yeah, it's a little more stretched out because they would do game 7 on Thursday if they were going to do a game 7. So
yeah, I like the other format better. This doesn't really give you the opportunity to watch both games. If you're interested in watching both games, then this kind of screws you over a bit. You got to do what I'm kind of doing and have 2 different tabs open. I think it was better before, where you could watch one at the 9:30, one at the 10:30, or whatever time zone you're in. It was more beneficial for anyone that actually wanted to follow it.
Well, this is the whole thing about timing of games. I don't think anyone's ever seen a game start on time in LG. And so the fact that we're sitting here and waiting a little bit is not a surprise. Looking at some of the stats and then how people were voting in these games, it was a lot of people for San Jose, but of late, we saw a lot more folks voting for Manitoba to win this one. And I don't know if that's out of the fact that people believe that they have a chance to surprise San Jose and take a couple of games and maybe take this series, or if it's just out of sheer hatred for San Jose. But I guess it all depends on the people that you're looking at. But, it's funny how it's kind of rallied towards Manitoba a little bit. And maybe people are thinking in the way that I've spoken to a few people earlier today, they're starting to think, hey, you know what, as good as San Jose is, you can't underestimate what Manitoba can do. And because of a 7-game series and how you have to play everybody, anything's possible. So I kind of feel like more people came around to the fact that they could wind up surprising somebody here.
Yeah, and I also feel like it's one of those situations where you bet on a game and then you're more invested in watching the game, because everyone most likely is going to be watching the CUDA game anyway. But if you think that it's possible the Moose are going to win, you kind of invest in them, the underdog, this and that. You kind of hope for them. You start hoping that maybe they'll pull through, maybe they'll get a lucky one, then they'll get another lucky one. Start voting for them, try to get their confidence up. It's possible. Of all the other teams in the league, this is definitely a team that could do it. So,
yeah. Means 2% for the CUDA, though.
Yeah. I'm still giving that it 70 cents on the dollar.
He's just kidding. He's not actually legally laying odds or money on a game.
Hey, I'm in Canada. We have different rules up here.
Okay.
I'm kidding. No, I don't. I take Bitcoin, though, if you're interested.
Do you?
No, I don't even know how Bitcoin works.
Yeah, I that doesn't shock me because I think you're having trouble even using Discord. So
I have trouble. I didn't even know that Reddit was a thing until earlier this season. People were trying to explain to me, I don't understand what this is.
Jesus.
Well, Charlotte's still waiting for their invite. They don't have anything yet. Looks like the Barracuda are doing the search for their team to do the challenge with. So hopefully in the next minute or two we have a game going. Again, semifinals tonight. We're going to be here for both games, or at least most of us will be. I think Advanced might fall asleep in between games 1 and 2.
It's possible. I got an early morning.
Meanwhile, I think it might wind up just being me and Ceeg calling this game later on. And we both have to go to work tomorrow, right? Or actually, no, who has to work tomorrow?
No, it's a holiday.
That's true.
Yeah.
What?
It is Martin Luther King Day
American
tomorrow
holiday.
here in America. And so
God, that's crazy. We don't have that.
Well, you don't have unless you have a Canadian version of yours, and you seem to have a Canadian version of everything that we do in America, so I'm kind of shocked.
Yeah, we don't have that. We don't have that one though. We do have a Family Day sometime in February, which was just, I think, our province. Like, hey, you know what? You guys don't spend enough time with your family. Here's a day off. Enjoy.
So what does that consist of? Just trying to stay warm in minus 50-degree temperatures?
It consists of probably, if you don't even live with your family, not seeing them and just having a day off. That's pretty much how that goes.
Well, it is what it is.
But we don't have a Martin Luther King Day. But if this helps, the guy who did my taxes last year, his name was legitimately Martin Luther King. His last name was King, and they're like, "Hey, we're gonna name him that."
Interesting. Thanks.
Yeah, didn't expect that.
No, I did not.
I
absolutely did not. Oh well. As you can see, we've got San Jose waiting for their opponent to show up, and we'll hopefully get them to show up momentarily, get this game underway. Meanwhile, still waiting for a challenge coming in on the other side for Charlotte, and hopefully Binghamton didn't forget that they're the home team, so they'll get that one going soon.
The Moose are showing up.
And so they are in now, as you see. This game hopefully will be getting underway shortly. And the Moose and Barracuda will be the first game that we'll get an eyeball on this one.
Yeah, we got user pick at playmaker, Matt at sniper, Pasta playmaker, Low-Key at puck moving, Jay Beal at two-way, and Nero Kid at hybrid. On the other side, we have Nazi at jumbo, which I've noticed a lot of people are using today. I can't use that thing. It's way too slow for me. JMM at playmaker. Then there's another playmaker, two-way defenseman, another two-way defenseman, and then a hybrid goalie. Do you find Sibs that hybrid is the best goalie to use so far this game?
Yeah, I do, because I think it covers. It's been that way for every game for the most part. I've tried some of the others. Some guys feel better about the game that they play, low, and so they try and compensate by being stand-up and hopefully taking away higher shots. I don't find that it's that much different, and I think hybrid allows you good low coverage, good speed, and if you're not somebody who's really good at doing one thing, that you could have a build that could cover the part you don't do well. I think hybrid's always the best way to go. It's funny you mentioned the jumbo playmaker. I've been seeing a lot more guys in club games and drop-ins wanting to use that build, and I'm not sure what the reason is for that, because as you said, I kind of feel like from past experience, most guys kind of feel it's a bit slow.
Yeah.
And I think speed is incredibly important in this game. Obviously, being able to hit on defense, I think being able to hit well is part of it. I don't want to be the enforcer defenseman, but I still want to be defensive because it still allows you to get a good hit in. But on offense, I think jumbo playmaker is, I don't know. I guess it all depends on your style of play, but I'd want to be quicker.
Yeah.
So the Moose actually defenseman.
Did they?
Yeah, Bob is in on lefty.
So that's
are they allowed to do that?
Yeah, you can roster swap one guy, and they did.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I did see Jay Layden. I saw his stream start up, and I was kind of wondering why that was the case. So now we know that he's in on lefty.
Okay.
As we're watching this game right now, the other one is getting ready to get going shortly here, so we'll be able to bring you that one as well. Right now, that one's about to start up, right? Yeah, as you're watching this game, San Jose and Manitoba, no score here in the first period. Play's been a little tight, little back and forth. Game one, kind of expected, not at all a surprise.
No, the Moose seem to actually they came out stronger so far. About half of the first period, and they've seemed to be getting in more, having more control of the puck. So that's an interesting thing that I didn't really expect.
Now we finally have some sound, thanks to me finally figuring it out. But yeah, as you can see, we're watching that game, and halfway through the first period, puck movement's been okay, but I haven't seen any really good passing yet in this matchup, and again, maybe it's a matter of and a good opportunity there finally for San Jose. But yeah, I don't know. Is this a matter of not getting enough practice in early, or?
It could be. I also haven't really seen past the quarterbacking it so far. It's been to user, or the defense has been throwing it far to either pastor or user, or Madden. They've been kind of caught by the defense. So nothing yet of the dangles.
17 minutes left to go in the first, and Charlotte and Binghamton still no scores. We'll stick with this one for a little while.
That looked like a trip that wasn't called on the Moose. They got lucky there. And that was a direct result of, it was kind of funny, right, as I was saying that, they picked the puck up halfway through the ice, got it to Past, and he did his little dangle thing, got it back to the defense. And that resulted in a trip that just didn't get called. But those are the kind of opportunities you'll see when you start dangling.
Moose moving the puck into the zone and looking for opportunities. Just trying to get shots on net, which is not a bad idea. Again, I kind of like that in anyone's strategy and play in this game. You can't just sit and dangle constantly. You got to start putting pucks on net. And the Moose trying to find some openings. Good spread defense there. Finally getting a good shot on net, and a follow-up opportunity missed. But now San Jose will get a power play coming back the other way.
Yeah, that's not something you want to give them. And on the other game, it's still 0-0, 10 minutes left in the first. And this seems to be pretty even so far. It's tough with a goalie view, though. You don't really know exactly what's going on.
I can tell you as a goalie, that's really the case, too. It's tough. You don't want to switch too quickly. You know, these long, fast shots can come down the ice. And in the semifinals, you don't want to be caught watching the game and not ready for a shot. So it's a little tough for a goaltender.
And if I was in this game, I really wouldn't be thinking much about the people watching the stream anyway. I'd be focusing all I can on the actual game itself.
Good, quick, late opportunity, but unfortunately, a little bit too late on the shot, and San Jose not able to capitalize on it. And so that game now going, taking a little bit of a break. We'll scoot on over to the Charlotte-Binghamton game. As you see, 6 minutes left to go, no score there either. So we'll watch this for a little bit as well.
Yeah, it doesn't look like the Devils are really playing as trap as hard as they were in the last game when they were playing the Marlies. So this does look a bit looser, a little more good chances.
People do listen to our broadcast, and I hope they didn't take anything we said seriously.
Why was that?
Well, I mean, maybe you guys, because you know what the hell you're doing, but, you know, I don't want them listening to my advice.
My advice was walk off a plank if you lose. I don't know.
Oh, good, quick. And there, good, quick opportunity.
Cool.
Front Flyers. That's the old hugging the post for the goaltender. Once that puck comes out front, you're so vulnerable.
Yeah, and that's Birmingham up 1-0, 2 minutes left in the third, or in the first. And that's kind of what I expected, because they have the much better lineup right now. And they're playing, their D-to-D is doing a good job breaking down the chase, and they get out pretty nicely.
Moose are starting the second on the power play. Pasta's in the box, so we'll keep on this game for now, as there's not much to really look at when someone's in the penalty box.
That's strange. I have a different view.
That is strange.
Oh, no, there it goes. Maybe I was just on delay.
Just really delayed.
Yep.
Good quick save by Flyers there on a point shot. And as I'm playing the game recently, I feel like the goaltender has slowed down a bit in side-to-side movement. And I know the last couple of patches, they actually said that improved. I'm not sure I believe that.
No, it always seems to be very quick when the puck's not in your zone or there's not a cross crease. And then the second they're in your zone, there is a cross crease. Your guy just doesn't move. And that's why I don't play goalie. It's just too frustrating to be dancing around when you're bored. It's not in your zone. The second is in your zone. It just creeps.
See, Binghamton Definitely has the better of the play. 7 shots to 2, 3.5 minutes to 1 minute on attack. And so we'll get back to that game later as we switch over here. The penalty
the
was killed.
Too, just to put out there, is 80% to 57. So it's a huge difference.
As you see, there's still 0-0 in that game as we're watching San Jose and Manitoba now. Some forechecking there by San Jose, trying to force mistakes. You don't see a lot of big movement there. Almost a good steal. Not seeing a lot of movement, a lot of guys trying to spring out from Manitoba. They are staying close.
Oh, yeah. They know what will happen if they get caught. But and both teams are kind of doing that because both teams know who can finish.
I don't know if it hurts, though, springing at least one winger if I'm Manitoba, trying to maybe get something to happen.
It's a good strategy. I always get nervous when I was playing on the wings to jump out like that. I always wanted to be the guy. I wanted to play like the center guy back, even though I was on the wing, just to give an extra option. So that was never really my forte.
So tough trying to find an opportunity to bring that puck on the other side. Couple of point defensemen open there for the Moose, but not able to get a puck to them.
Yeah, I'm noticing a lot of stretch passes that's starting to happen now from the defense to the forwards. They're not really sticking back as far as they should, except for literally right there.
San Jose, I'm impressed. You know, we talk about their offense so much. I'm impressed with how well they play D and how well they space out. Obviously, they have some tremendous defensemen on this team, but the entire team defense is pretty damn good.
Yeah, they keep you to the corners and they keep you to the wall. They do a good job of just not giving you too much.
Like we said the other night, and I'm curious to get Ceeg's opinion on this. You know, you could have all the talent in the world, but these guys, and good opportunity, good quick pass in front. And Loxton with the goal, putting San Jose on top finally. 1-0 in this one, 5 minutes left to go in the second. You know, you can have all the talent in the world, but if you don't all position well when you're on the ice, it could really make it incredibly tough for the defensemen if the forwards aren't in the right position. And right back, Manitoba coming the other way as Lobo ties it up at 1.
Binghamton just went up.
Yeah, they're
Bennett,
up 2-0 now.
Bennett with a power play goal now, 2-0 Binghamton, as you mentioned. But yeah, I'm sorry, just trying to get back to that question again. But as a defenseman, you know, you really need your forwards to be positioned well on defense, and it looks like San Jose has practiced that, and they really have it down pat for the most part.
Oh yeah, for sure.
With the exception of breakaways.
That's rough.
But yeah, it's you know, other than what's happened in this period for San Jose, they're usually pretty good positioning wise, and everybody helps out defensively. Another rebound goal, and all of a sudden Manitoba up 3-1, and his second goal of the night for Lobo.
Wow, that's big. If they can take this game, that puts a lot of strain on the Cuda for the rest of the series. Oh, wow. And the Devils just walked right in with a dirty backhand and scored that one. So that's 3-0 with 7 minutes left in the second. This game is pretty much what I thought was going to happen. So at least it's not boring. It's exciting. They're definitely playing more open. And they're definitely scoring.
Yeah, second goal for Bennett. Another couple of great opportunities there in that one. We'll get to that game in a minute. But right now, Manitoba is putting it to San Jose as we're getting down to the last couple of seconds in the second period. And this could be a very interesting game. You know, Manitoba going with Dr. Nasty in net tonight. And we thought maybe if they're going to put somebody out there who might be a good playoff option in net, would be Arch, but you know, so far Nasty having a pretty good night. No issues there. Let's flop over to the other game, as that one has a couple of minutes left to go in the second. Binghamton up 3-0, as you see, and as much defense as we saw the other night, they are taking it to Charlotte and not giving the Checkers an awful lot of opportunities.
No, they're playing well right now. They're playing like the first place team that they were playing like during the season, and the Checkers are, even though they're on 2-1 break, had nothing. Goalie's just playing sturdy as hell.
Getting down inside the last minute of that game, Charlotte and Binghamton. Now, if you're San Jose at this point, down by 2 in the third period, you know, you've got enough firepower to not worry about it at this point, but they got to be a little concerned.
Yeah, although Pasta does say that they score most of their goals in the third when they readjust.
Yeah. And you got to look at how quickly Manitoba, they could score 3 just as quickly.
Absolutely. And these teams are all high level guys.
Checkers only 5 shots on goal in that game over there. And so we'll get back to, we'll check in on it a little bit later, but let's get back to San Jose and Manitoba and take a look at this one in the final period. Good quick opportunity, and that one just going wide.
That was a user wrap, but it didn't go. And the Mooch coming back down.
Just getting opportunities.
They're keeping it in. They're playing well.
You know, it is. The longer you keep it in the other zone, the you know, obviously the better off you are.
Yeah, I would agree to that.
Can't really blame Sid for the goals that he's had. There were deflections, cross creases, you know, rebounds off of a long shot. The same crap that most of us goaltenders have to deal with. So, trying his best out there, but just not getting it to fall for him here in Game 1. And this would be a hell of a statement if Manitoba can take Game 1.
Absolutely, especially when both first lines go out there. I do think that the second line of the CUDA is better than the second line of the Moose, is just like I thought the first line of the CUDA was better than the first line of the Moose. So you never know what can happen now, but I'm pretty sure Razor Edge and his line can really do some damage and tie this up if that's the route they go down.
Well, at what point are rosters locked? Before this game started, it looked for both teams.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. I think it's 3 hours and 1 hour, so they're definitely locked in now.
Yeah, well, you know, that's what we know is the rule, but there have certainly been instances where LG has been like, well, you know, at the last minute, if they throw somebody else in, and it's been one of those gray areas about when the roster really needs to be in. And so I'm not sure if they ever really updated those rules or what they're saying you can and can't do now. But I guess if somebody technically can't show up, but the
site actually locks it. You can't edit anything. You're allowed to swap. It'll let you do that, but you can't just like wholesale make changes. You like the site literally.
Well, that's interesting. I didn't know they did that. The Moose got power play right now, so 8 minutes left, and they're looking like they may actually take this one. And give them all the credit in the world. They're playing well.
Controlling most of the play too. You know, they're not being timid about it. They're not sitting back and just waiting to play defense. They're attacking, and that's a danger when you start getting a lead against a team that everyone says you shouldn't beat. That if you do get that lead, you start playing defensively, but they're not doing that. You know, the Moose are playing the game.
Yeah, and they're really sticking it to passes here. They're keeping them pretty well contained, which is their dominating force of player.
the defense for Manitoba, I mean, you know, goaltending so far has been okay, but their defense has really kept them out of the zone. And you know, when you can shut down this line this way so far with 3.5 left to go, it's an incredible feat. And now in the first 4 games, you're taking away 1 game from this top line. That's big.
Yeah, that's big.
The danger for Manitoba is if you do what they did and you don't win, then it's a real big problem for you, because then you've lost big guns. So it's a hell of a matchup to go with this and just say, look, we're going to throw our best guys out there. Good quick shot from the point, but not able to make any headway there. Under a minute left to go in that game, and Manitoba talking a lot today in the shout box, right? And they, you know, not a lot of garbage, but just saying, look, we're confident. We feel like we can play with them.
Yeah, they're doing a pretty good job trapping people. They're not giving them too much.
Still on the attack and still not taking any chances defensively. They're staying back.
Yeah, they're getting some bounces too, luckily. But from what we're seeing, they are also playing pretty far. They're keeping their forwards decently. Oh, that's a goal for Pasta.
There was a penalty coming up, but they came back the other way, and a missed check there in the game cost Manitoba a goal right there, as I think it might have been Loxta coming up on the left side, who was able to bypass a defenseman trying to line up a hit, and just was able to find Pasta, who, you know, saw the play develop and got ahead of the defenseman.
Yep, and they just took a timeout, pulled their goalie with 11 seconds left, so they're pretty much balls deep right now. Get anything they can or die trying. And if you look at their stats, they've been outworked the whole game. Time on attack,
4 shots in a game.
Yeah, 4 shots in a game. That is not like them. Face-offs are even. Time on attack is in favor of the Moose by about 2 minutes. So it's not something you really expect. It looks like the Checkers did score one eventually, so it's 4 minutes left in that game, 3-1 for Bennington.
4-1?
Yeah, now it's 4-1 and about a minute left to go in that game.
Oh, 4-1. Yeah, look at that. Jeez.
Time winding down as San Jose tries to get something here in the last couple of seconds, and they're not going to succeed. And Manitoba holding on to a 3-2 victory in this one.
That's big.
Meanwhile, on the other side, we'll go down to the last minute here in this game between Charlotte and the Albany Devils. And Binghamton Devils. I keep calling them Albany. Charlotte now with their second goal in this game, 4-2, and they're going to take a timeout. Or actually, looks like Binghamton's going to take a timeout. But yeah, 4 total shots for San Jose in that game. That is remarkable. I mean, you've got to try to attack a little bit more, I'm thinking, and get some pucks on net. If you don't do that the first period and a half, somebody has to recognize that and say, okay, you know, we might not be getting into the zone, but let's, you know, we got to come across the blue line, throw something on net, anything.
Yeah, getting those rebounds, making the defenseman and the forward start to move around a bit, start chasing it. That's when you start getting better opportunities. Just shoot low. That was our philosophy near the end of the season on Providence, because we just could not get anything going. Just shoot low, keep shooting low.
Now Charlotte coming back, trying to do something here at the last seconds, but the puck is cleared down. It's going to be an icing. And the Checkers will get an opportunity for another face-off deep in the Binghamton zone.
Yeah, about 19 seconds left. I don't have any problem with that kind of icing. That's a smart way to go.
Yeah, 2-goal lead. You don't take too many chances. There's no point in it.
No.
Charlotte battling hard here. They're trying to get something going in the last few seconds, but
yeah, they're forechecking, but Devils got out again, and that's going to be the game.
Another ice, but too little too late for Charlotte. They picked up the pace. They wound up playing a little better here in the third period, but it just wasn't enough as Binghamton about ready to take game one here in this series. And
yeah, I called it a 4-1 game, went 4-2. Not too bad. Definitely not seeing the defense that we saw in the last series, so this should be a much more fun series than I thought it would be. I'm going to keep my eye on them now instead of just kind of focusing on the CUDA games.
see Bennett with the hat trick for Binghamton in this game, goal and 2 assists for Boogie.
I don't even have to look. I can probably guarantee that right now the CUDA are having a little team meeting, and they're about to play a couple games together, and then or at least one, and then play again for the next game and regroup.
Yeah, they're going to take that as a teaching moment. I don't think they're like rattled or anything or like upset with one another, but
right.
No,
I don't think that we're going to see another 4-shot game.
No, they're gonna really change up the way they do things. And if they don't, and they lose both these games, that's a huge blow.
Yeah, I kind of figured that this series was going tonight, but I thought the second game a loss potentially with 2-0,
right?
Having spent their top line.
Well, for game 2 here tonight, both front lines look to be the same. At least they are right now. Pitcher and Beal on defense for San Jose. Bob the Ostrich and Pesdemic on defense, with Dreamy in net for the Moose. So at least in net, you might say that's an upgrade for sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So
they needed it last game.
An even bigger task, and it's our job here. Let's speculate. San Jose doesn't come away with a victory in this game, and they've spent their top line in the first 2 games. They obviously need a win here. They have to. Is that a fair statement?
Oh yeah, absolutely. The pressures. Yeah. We were talking about the pressure before, but like now there's actual pressure, and I didn't think there would be like that. So it'll be more interesting to watch. I think they're not going to do what they just did. They're going to figure out a way to get in more, maybe move things around, get defense more involved. But with Dreamy and net, that's definitely an advantage now for the Moose.
You see Binghamton 19 shots to 9 over Charlotte, 820 to 325 in time on attack. So Binghamton definitely with the better of the play in this one. Charlotte going down 4-2 though, considering what the other numbers looked like they would have been totally outplayed. But 4-2 the final in that one, and we'll see if these teams decide to get games together quickly and get back on the ice and play. I don't know that for sure. We'll keep an eye on it. I know the guys over at San Jose are maybe getting some practice in before the next game.
Absolutely.
What do you if you're the GM of San Jose, what do you tell your guys? They're the top line. They're usually pretty confident. They usually are coming off a victory and can be a little more relaxed after a game like this. But the pressure's on them now. What do you tell them to not tense up? What kind of instruction do you give them at this point?
Ceeg, this is all you. I've never been in management.
I'll say it's a teaching moment, but don't dwell on it. The game with a death grip on your controller, because it's just not going to end well. They still play, have fun the way, then they know. So hopefully they adjust and overcome.
Yeah, as a person who's never been in management, I would just be making jokes and try to lighten it up a little bit, try to get them to relax.
Well, they obviously are going to do some work here and try and get some practice in before this game. But it's always the issue with having to play multiple games in one night, and if you're playing with the same line, I almost feel like it's better if you're playing 2 games to not necessarily play the same line twice, because if they have a game like that, if you bring another line in, another full other line, they obviously going to know about the loss, but they're not going to feel the frustration of playing the loss, as opposed to, both these lineups coming back for game 2 in this one. Again, you got a lot of talent here for San Jose, and so it's not the end of the world to come back with the same line. But I think it can be a bit of a struggle to lose a game like this in the playoffs and then have to come back and feel the pressure of playing game 2 after losing game 1.
I agree with you 100%. And not only that, but when you start playing, I guess it's only 2 games, but I assume they've been playing some games beforehand. When you start playing for an hour or 2, you just start to feel like you're slumping a bit. Like everything's just kind of going slower and it's not working out. So playing 2 different teams in one night, in my opinion, is the better way to go, just to give it some fresh eyes.
How do you feel about that being the case, Ceeg? Do you think it's that big of an issue having to come back with the same lineup right away after a loss like this?
Not really. I mean, most of it probably comes down to availability and like who's actually around, who's going to be around later in the week.
Right.
So you just have to take that into account, and I don't know, think too much about it.
Right.
Yeah, we are kind of used to playing 2 games a night, though. That is what it's what you'd prefer to do during the season as well, so you don't have to play 3 games on 3 separate nights and kind of ruin your week.
Yeah, I mean, for the regular season, I absolutely understand that, and certainly it can be. You can kind of see that for the playoffs, but I just think because it's such a short series, if you have 2 bad games in a row, it really puts your team behind the 8 ball.
Yep, that it definitely does. And if that does happen, I don't even know what they're gonna do. I don't know what their strategy will be from then on out. Things have been like the twilight zone.
Yeah, it's
down to
go ahead.
That's tough. It's tough to come back. I mean, not to say that they wouldn't be able to, but I would never want to.
No. And it looks like in the Charlotte game, they're not exactly it's their other line now. I think this is their. They've done this weird thing where they've kind of split some people up. It's now No Frills, which is probably one of their worst wingers, is now with Epic Skillsy, and then Cobalt is in there. So I'm not really sure what their lines look like. I mean, that's probably just availability, I guess. And then the exact same lines going out for the Devils.
Yeah, I think that might also be the strategy. Is just if you've got guys who are in this game, just go with them. No reason to change anything up. And if I'm the Devils, you might as well try and get that second win in immediately. And when you've got the home ice and you can make the changes however you want to, I kind of think that's the base decision making you have to do. It's just like, we've got home ice. Let's not try and be cute about it. We can if we want to. If they put out line 2, we could put out line 3 and try and steal one. But the other part of it is you have control over what you can and can't do with your lineup. And maybe you say, okay, well, if they're going to put out line 2 or line 3, let's put out a better line and try and give us more of a chance to go ahead and take this. It all depends on the person managing, I guess, and how daring they are. Yeah.
Devils switched their goalie, though. So that's interesting. Maybe their other goalie had to go to sleep, or who knows what. But their real team is still a very good goalie. I'm not too worried about it. Here's something I noticed, though, is that 3 of the 4 teams tonight are keeping the same lineups for both games, and only one team isn't.
Well, Bennett Rixey and Bennett and Rixey played well that first game. Boog on the right wing for the Devils in this second game. Peace and Mafia back on defense. So Demon, yeah, like you said, solid goaltender, but he obviously also gets some good D back there for him as well. So, and God of America scheduled right now to be in net for Charlotte. So, but Skillsy in this game for the Checkers, No Frills, Corbs, Dominator, and Roscoe on defense. It could also be a very interesting move for them. I know in watching some of the games the other day that Skillsy likes to get up the ice quickly too. So I'm not sure what they get away from watching that first game, but it may not be that easy. I think the Checkers figured that out after game one. And you guys were saying the other night that the Devils are a good team. They didn't win their division for nothing, even though it's the East. To win a division still takes something.
Yep. I'm kind of surprised because Epic Skillsy has a lot of points and he does like to play that way. But I've never really understood that when it comes to centers. If you want to be up all the time and trying to score, that's a winger type of mentality. The center's got to be that third guy back. It's got to be that third guy up. It's got to be that first option for the defenseman. So it's a weird mentality to have, but it seems to be working for him.
Well, we will be getting to the next couple of games here shortly. Hopefully in the next 10, 15 minutes, we'll pick up with some games. It's funny how these playoffs work and how we've seen them play out in the last couple of seasons. You watch the first couple of games played, and there'll be teams that have taken a 2-0 lead, and it seems like they have all the momentum. And I think going to the next night, how often have we seen these series get tied up at 2 apiece? Momentum totally change. When you're playing like this with different lines, you could see two very different teams every night, and it could be from game to game during that night as well. It's a very odd thing. It's not like watching a series in real life hockey, because things can change so quickly from one day to the next, from one lineup to the next, and all of a sudden the momentum changes, and where you think one team has really been dominating, all of a sudden the series is tied up. And it's one of those things that's caught me a few times where I think somebody's really controlling the series, and before you know it, they're playing a game 7.
Yeah, just no finish.
Yeah, I think it is also important to note that since they're playing the top lines in the Kuda and Moose game, that means that there's no playing your second line twice. You got to play that third line at least once before the fourth game is up. So this could go anywhere. If the Kuda lose again and they maybe win their second lineup game, that third line, unless they're just as bad as the other third line, you may be looking at a 3-1 deficit in the series, and then you're in some heat.
Well, it'll be fun to watch this next game. You know that the Barracuda are probably going to play with a little bit of anger after that one. Pasta is a relatively easygoing guy, but if there's one thing we know about him, he does not like to lose. And but the question that I have is, if you're not playing loose and you're playing with a little bit of anger and disappointment in losing a game, I wonder how much that might affect their game. And User is another guy who is who doesn't. You don't have to guess what he's thinking. He's more than happy to tell you.
Oh yeah.
So I wonder how angry these guys are going into game 2 tonight.
They're probably disappointed a little bit.
Yeah, I would say disappointed more so than angry.
Kind of surprised maybe that they just got their butts whooped, but if that's any consolation to them, is that they'll accept that as a bad loss and just kind of maybe say, oh, bad bounces or something, just to keep their spirits up and go back into the next game feeling better. What do you think your predictions are for this game, to you, Ceeg or Sibs?
Well, I have a hard time. I mean, look, you know, Manitoba can play loose, but I really do have a hard time believing that that San Jose is going to lose 2 in a row with this line. It just doesn't seem like that's really a realistic thing. Certainly, it's possible, but I just feel like they're going to find a way to do something here and make this work for them.
Ceeg?
Agree. Yeah, I don't see them losing 2 in a row. I think they come back. They just, lets them pot at least one. Doesn't shut them out.
And what about the other series?
Devils to come out with both of these games. I still think that's going to happen.
Sibs?
I picked Charlotte.
No, I know. That's why I'm curious to see what's going to happen here with your choices.
Well, I tell you what, I didn't get to see the Devils a lot this year, and I very well may have misunderstood what all their talents are. So we'll definitely have to see how this works out, because I just don't know if this same lineup tonight. I mean, I can see the Devils taking a 2-0 lead, and then maybe Charlotte having a better night tomorrow night. Like I said, one game in, I'm not willing to call, but as it is now with the same lineups for the most part, I can't imagine the Devils doing much of anything different. I would hope that Charlotte would hold on to the puck and try and work it a little bit more offensively, try and get some shots in. Just offensively, it was a rough first game.
Yeah, I think the Devils are going to take this one too. And now the lines are different a bit. They have a better goal. At least I'm going to call this one maybe like a 3-2 game, but the Devils are going to take it and finish this night with a 2-0 lead in the series.
Well, we'll be seeing these games getting underway shortly. Trying to see if I can get Jack Dupe in here to talk to us at least for a little bit about that first game, and get his impression about what he's seeing so far in this one. I don't know if JMM is available, but I think he's playing the next game, correct? So may not be available to talk right now. Most guys don't like to be messed around with just before game time, so it all depends. I mean, Pasta I think would talk no matter what, but
I don't know. Not after a loss like that.
Yeah, he might be. I mean, he's playing right now, obviously, and he might not want to get too involved as it is.
Yeah, I kind of feel like the same way when you're watching hockey on TV and you see the reporters talking to the players, and the guys like, yeah, we got to put more effort in. It's been a tough go so far, but I think we can come back. It's been a real hot game, and we'll see what's going to happen. Oh, okay, thanks. And then he just walks away with a sweaty puddle behind him.
Yeah, it's you definitely do feel like you can't, you got to take it seriously. You can't be distracted by anything else, and I'm sure, these guys are also pretty proud too. They're not going to take time out to do anything else except be ready to play game 2 and at least come away with a 1-1 in this series. And I don't blame them. I mean, I think I would want to be able to do that. And not be distracted by anything else. So not at all, not really surprised there.
No, I'm kind of curious to see if the Moose do take a second one, how many people in the shell box are going to kind of be jumping ship here and start talking. Oh, I knew from the get-go they were going to win. I always like seeing the bandwagon start hopping on.
Just reading some of the comments here in the shop box. Beal likes to say a lot of things.
Yeah.
But, he's a guy who's, after last season, it's funny, I was talking to Brian Adores Liz a little earlier today. He was going to come on in the pregame, but he wound up having some other stuff going on that he needed to attend to tonight. But we were talking about a little bit earlier as we were playing some club games, and I asked him, what's how do you measure up this Moose team compared to the one that won it last year? And he said, well, for one thing, it's a lot calmer. And a lot less psychotic, which I think that's the word he used. And I said, well, I totally understand that. He said, yeah, but I kid about it, but really not having to worry about the drama, not having to deal with egos, no matter how good they were, and no matter the fact that they won it, it was a chore having to deal with that all the time. And he said it's just a totally different ball game this season. Everybody gets along well. They want to play as much as they can. And so, heard a lot of the similar things out of Brian that I heard from Pasta and other guys on San Jose. They're a bunch of guys who play well, but also get along really well.
Yeah, they got good chemistry. They all like each other, which is pretty rare to find. And some of these guys have been playing together for seasons now, which is not too common either. And even when you want to play with guys, the chance of you actually playing with them or both getting on the same team is never that great of odds. So the fact that they're actually able to do it is a testament to who they are and how loyal they are and to the management that knows that they play well together.
I may have given Dupe the wrong my wrong whatever. Yeah, we're still trying to get him in here, so hopefully we'll get him in shortly. Yeah, I'll try and add him as well. But yeah, we're trying to get some folks in here who are actually from the teams that we're talking about here, and maybe get a chance to get their insight as to what's going on with the teams and what they're talking about. And hopefully we'll get Jack in here as soon as possible. Let's see if I can add him to that group. It's a good question here.
Just invited him.
You did? Okay, good. So hopefully we'll get Jack in here shortly.
There he is.
See if I can get an invite in there for him. But anyway, looks like Charlotte's starting to gather right now. We're about 5 minutes away from Game 2 in this series, and we're looking to see these games start up shortly. San Jose's still doing a warm-up right now, so maybe a little bit of time before they possibly get in here.
Who has the stream for the second game?
We are. I'm assuming Pasta's going to stream again, even though he is going to be playing. So I'm assuming he'll probably stream again. We do have some other folks streaming in Game 2. Epic X Skillsy, in case you want to just watch on Twitch directly, we'll be streaming this game for the checkers, and I think we're going to see probably Dreamy streaming as well as maybe Pasta for Game 2 on the Moose Barracuda side. We're still trying to get Dupe in here. He's having a little trouble. This is a little easier on Skype than it is here. At least I think it is. But we're hopefully going to get Dupe in here. Looks like he may have joined us now.
Hello.
Dupe, you there?
How's it going, Dupe?
I think so. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you fine. Hey,
Oh God.
congrats to your team in Game 1. Obviously both big lines going up in this one. What was the lineups for Games 1 and 2? What's the thinking there on your side?
I'm sorry. You're cutting out for me. No surprise there.
Let's. Am I still cutting out a lot for you?
No, I can hear you.
Okay. The question was the fact that you're starting. You're starting the top guys that you're playing right now. What's the theory behind who you're starting in these first two games?
To be honest with you, I'm not entirely sure. I think JMM and Nazi they wanted to start strong. We want to get the series over as quickly as possible, hopefully in our favor, obviously. And we thought this would be the best way to do it. I think the logic behind it was put them out there the first 2 games, and then see how they match up against us, and then for tomorrow, we'd have like home ice, and Pasta and User, excuse me, for the both games too. Like, so tomorrow, I mean, they're gonna have to put their lineups out, and then we could match. Like, obviously, we both have to have our second and third lines play.
Right.
So
was your goal
favorable matchup?
Was your goal at the end of 2 days to be up 3-1?
I mean, the goal is to be up 4-0. Let's be realistic. But, I mean, I think so. I think that's what we're shooting for. I mean, I feel like it's so disheartening for me hearing everyone say, like, essentially say we have no chance. It hurts. Because it really, like, not that I think you should be saying, like, that we are going to win. Like, we're definitely not favorites. We're definitely underdogs. But the way everyone talks, like, I don't know. We went 1-1-1 against them in the season. And so, I mean, that easily could be 2-1. Like, it is. I don't know. Not that they, I mean, they're obviously a very deep team, but just getting this first win, I think, I don't know, if we could all split, like, anything could happen in 7. I mean, that's their top line minus maybe pitcher. So the fact that they took them down, like, anything could happen, I think. I mean, the more games we win early, the better.
It's true. That's something that we didn't really expect to see going in. So now that we actually see what the Moose are coming out and showing, it kind of changes the opinions of a couple of people. And I was just saying, I hope that I see some people in the shout box later jumping ship and start bandwagoning.
Good. Hop on board. They're all welcome. The more the merrier. I was watching that game, very impressed with the way they played. They just played very, like, poised. I mean, often, like, last week I watched that game 7 of I forget who, Binghamton and
Charlotte. I'm sorry, Binghamton and
Toronto.
Toronto, yeah.
And until that goal went, it looked like everyone was playing nervous.
Right.
They just didn't want to give anything up. And this game, I mean, I don't know. I mean, at least from the Moose perspective, like, they just played sound. Like, they weren't making any unnecessary risks, but they were just, I don't know, I like the way they played a lot. Like, if they play that way again, I can't see them losing.
Yeah, it looked like they kept their forwards a bit back more for easier passes, whereas the Cuda were really starting to stretch them.
Well, and I mean, how much is that? Because of, I mean, the way they've dominated all year and they've put up goals all year. So, you know, at a certain point when they're, you know, they have 1 goal, they had 4 shots.
Yeah.
Right.
I feel like you get antsy. I mean, I know the feeling. Like, when you have a successful offensive season and then you're getting shut down, it's not fun. And you just get, I don't know, you're like, what are we doing wrong? Blah, blah, blah. And you get frustrated and then tempers fly. Like, I'm excited and nervous to see how the Cuda respond to that loss.
Yeah. Are you nervous for your game coming up?
I'll be honest with you. I said this last series too. I'm significantly more nervous for these games that I'm watching than the ones that I play.
Really?
Because, well, I don't know. I feel like I have a say in what's happening in the ones I play. But this, it's like just being a fan of the team. I don't know. Like, once, like, I don't know. I always say, if you're not nervous, you're not ready. And
okay.
Once the game starts, like, I don't know, real hockey, same thing. Like, first shift, like, touch the puck a little bit, and then, like, nerves are gone. And then, like, towards the end, last couple minutes, you start to get nervous again. But
does anyone on your team have any weird pregame rituals?
I don't know. I mean, not that I know of. I'm sure Dreamy has some weird shit that he does.
Yeah, goalies are always strange.
I will say that I messaged JMM before the game and said, make me proud. And then as soon as that game was over and they won, I sent him, make me proud again.
Okay.
So I'm pretty superstitious, but I don't have, like, I don't know, anything in particular. Just go with the flow.
Okay, because when I was playing the playoffs, I always wore Babcock socks. That was my move. I wore the Bab socks, and that was my lucky time.
How did you feel your season went this in season 6, Dupe?
I think I had a rough start. I mean, because everyone knows like these games are so much about chemistry nowadays, and last season I played most, if not all, of the season with Bob Swagger. So
Yep.
Bobby Goggles, is you PlayStation people know him, and like I've known him for years, so had some chemistry with him. But then this season I started out, I don't know, I played with different people every game, and I wasn't doing great. Like we were doing as a team, we are doing all right, but points wise, I wasn't doing the best. And then we got 98 sent down, and I've played with him on Xbox a lot. We won a championship in like a banana league together, and we're doing well together. And then they made a move to trade for Jared, which is 98's brother, and like that's played with those two together a lot. And like we signed up for ESHL together on Xbox too, so like play with those boys a lot. And once having them, just played a lot better.
That's all about chemistry too, right? I mean, exactly. It's a matter of getting a lot of time in with somebody and knowing where they're going to be. And we were saying that earlier. Brian. I was talking to Brian a little bit earlier today, and he was talking about obviously the Moose this season compared to last, but he said the way you guys get together, the fact that you guys do play together. We hear the same stuff from San Jose. You can have all the talent in the world, but if you don't practice together and get to know each other really well, that chemistry is not there. And it sounds like you guys have been able to do that as well.
Yep. And, I mean, like I said, they're brothers, so I kind of just jumped in. Like, they already had chemistry. They've been playing since, I don't know, before I was born together probably. And so just jumping in and piggybacking off them.
Right.
Yeah. It's important to know right now that Pastas, he was keeping that broadcast up, and they just lost their practice game as well.
Oh, they're done for.
Is that something you like to hear?
Probably not, to be honest with you. I think I'd rather them like dominate and then go in like, with overconfidence.
Okay.
But I don't know.
Well, I think overconfidence might happen if they had, won the first game and they're just messing around. That's, the other part of it is when your back is against the wall and how you deal with it. You and I were talking a little earlier today about that miraculous last second goal that you guys scored last year at Hershey, and you guys may in the end may not have had the talent necessarily to get to the next step, but there's one thing I saw about Hershey is that you guys didn't give up. Very late in the game, Moose makes a really great save. You get, outlet pass gets to you. You make a great pass to Nismo, and he gets one home with 0.2 left to go in the game to put it to overtime. But
yep.
You have to be able to play well in pressure situations, and I think you have some experience with that. A lot of these guys who may have played for Stockton or another really good team, I wonder how much pressure they really had to play under in the last couple of seasons.
Yeah, that's a fair assessment. And I mean, I mean, with like last season with Hershey, and I don't remember what my salary was, but it was more than this year. And I feel like the team as a whole probably suffered because of it. I mean, obviously with you have that much cap dedicated to one person.
Mm-hmm.
But this year, I don't know how they did it. Like, because I mean, I was 8.75. I'm looking at it right now,
mm-hmm.
and our team, like, we got a lot of depth, and it's the same with like the CUDA, like, and they have so much depth. And I wonder, but I mean, they have 8.75 spent on me, and then like 1 mil, Dreamy for 1 mil is nuts.
Yeah.
Jared 750K, 98 2 mil. He's a draft pick, but like, yeah, I don't know. It's fun. Hopefully, we can get the job done tonight.
Do you think that you guys somehow beat the CUDA? It's just a walk in the park from there on out.
It's hard to not like. have that thought in your in the back of your head, but like you obviously don't want to think ahead too much. You know, like stereotypical interview answer, but it's the truth. Like, I think, you know, we're focused on this one, and I think you want to go in with that. You got to go in with the, like, we need to win 4, not just like, all right, it's done. Like, I mean, I'm sure, you know, there'll be some room for celebration after losing this, but I'll be honest with you. If I knew we're going to lose a series, I'd much rather lose this one than lose the next one.
Oh,
I don't
absolutely.
think we've never lived that down.
And speaking of this one, it's starting up right now. San Jose and Manitoba. Game number 2 of this series with the CUDA needing to win this one. Again, both top lines going out for this one. And Lobo, couple of goals in that first game. Again, he continues to play well in the playoffs. And we talked a little bit about him on the show the other night. And there's the first goal by San Jose.
Wow.
Able to quickly put one up on net and in.
Their game style has definitely changed. They're using their defense more. They're passing around the boards more. They got woken up.
Locksta getting the rebound opportunity and putting it home. But, you know, we talked a lot about Lobo Dangles, and obviously a great player. And, you know, there have been guys who the last couple of seasons are like, well, no, he's been playing all these subpar teams and all this other garbage. And no matter how many stats we've put out there showing that his strength of schedule has been good, you know, he hasn't gotten all the respect. It seems like maybe this season he's gotten it, and he continues to play well both regular season and playoffs.
I'm a big fan of scrub hunting. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's a nice cushion. I don't get it too often, but when I do, it's a nice thing. We had a joke in Province where I would never really have to sign up for games. They would just give me whatever they wanted. It was 9 for 9, but I'd only sign up for really shitty teams. And Dolphin would just laugh at me and go, "No, you're not getting those."
But yeah, I think you look at Lobo, and I think he hopefully is starting to get the respect that he deserves because he's played this game well. He doesn't really talk to anybody much in the shout box. I don't know if I've ever seen him in there. And he just plays the game. And I'm assuming he's a pretty good teammate as well.
I could attest to that, and I could also say that I don't know that I've ever heard him talk, and I've played a few games with him. I think he's talked in the party, but I don't know what his voice sounds like, so.
He's all business. Well, that's good. I mean, it's, you know, I'd rather have that than some of the guys who like to tell you all their excuses for not making a play.
Nope, I want that.
Is that because that's what you mostly do?
Listen, it's
the
possible.
only reason I have a mic.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Both games are underway. Charlotte Binghamton no score with 11:41 left to go in the first. Meanwhile, as we hit the 8-minute mark here, 1-0 for San Jose as they took the early lead and are looking to try and draw this series 1 apiece. And there's a tripping that San Jose is going to get called for. As Manitoba will now go on the power play. The talent level, since we have you on here, Dupe, and since Pasta took the penalty, we'll stick with it, but we're not going to get to see an awful lot here. You know, we've talked about the talent level, and of course there are a few teams that have a tremendous amount of talent on it. We talk about San Jose, and your team, I think, kind of goes unnoticed with the because of San Jose. They kind of go unnoticed with just how much talent you guys have on your squad, and yeah, maybe in a way having San Jose around helps you because it doesn't put a spotlight on your team as being stacked, which I kind of think it is.
Well, thank you, and I agree. Like throughout the season, but at the same time, we were playing in the toughest division in the league by far. So
sure,
I mean, it didn't really matter. Like all the focus was on the CUDA, but then you had us, and you had the Wolves, and you had the Admirals, and you had Rockford, and you had there's another team who just missed the playoffs too.
Griffins
Yeah.
had over 100
Like,
points and didn't make the playoffs.
And then you have, and then look, now you have whoever, the Checkers with 86 points in the Eastern Conference Finals. Like, it's just crazy the depth of like all the teams on the West as opposed to the East this year. But well, like you said, our division was so tough. So like, I mean, the focus, everyone would talk about the CUDA, but just I don't know. Every time you played, it seemed like we always got teams good lines, just because like being in the division exactly didn't matter.
Another power play for Manitoba now as another tripping call made. Overall talent in the league this year, Dupe, I mean, how do you feel about it? I mean, obviously there are guys who went from the AHL up. We all know that. More CHL guys showing up to play in the AHL. Overall, the talent level, how do you think it was in Season 6 to past seasons?
I feel like it's probably pretty similar. And like I said, I mean, I wasn't as like high up on the like leaders, so I wasn't as focused on looking at that as last season. But whenever I would look at the leaders, you know, there's 10 guys listed, and how many of them are CUDA? Like 6, 7, 8?
Oh, the Moose just got a goal there, so they tied up 1-1 with 33 seconds left.
Tough turnover.
On a power play too, so again, another penalty, another tripping call. This time the San Jose Barracuda sacrifice on that one and had a last-minute opportunity there right in the crease.
Jesus.
Loose puck. You really do suffer watching these games, don't you?
Oh, it's terrifying.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, as we're watching the replay, Pasta had an opportunity right on the doorstep there, could not get a stick on it. So close.
That's some EA right there.
Yeah, I mean, he seemed to be there. How the stick isn't on the puck, I'm not sure, but
you can see the difference in play now. Those 7 shots in the first compared to 4 in the whole game. They've come out hard.
Charlotte and Binghamton just starting up second period as well right now. No score in that one. We'll take a glance over that one shortly. But again, second period starting here, 1-1. And Manitoba, I mean, it's looking a little bit like a 1-2-2. A little bit of pressure up front, but really trying to stay around the blue line, not giving them many opportunities. But a good quick pass in front. And now a shot from the point and a nice blast.
And there's a goal.
Plenty of problems going on in front of the net. And P-Swag able to get off a good blast and gets his first goal in this series. And now it's 2-1 San Jose.
Yeah, this is more the game I was kind of expecting. Not that they were leading per se, just more shots, more goals.
Good quick pass out front, but a nice save by Sid as he's able to make a good move on that one. Now San Jose coming back the other way. And it was User who actually made a good run into the net on that last goal and got everything moving in front of the net, got a pileup of players, and the puck came back to P-Swag, and he was able to get off a good shot.
Yeah, and it was a nice pass from the defense, from the yellow defenseman to instead of just taking that shot, to pass it over and get the angle change on that.
Games are pretty much at the same point, only a couple of seconds difference.
It's crazy, isn't it?
0-0 over there in Charlotte and Binghamton. But both games are pretty much on the same timeline right now.
And I expected Binghamton to have at least one goal at this point, so that's an interesting change.
Good play deep in the zone.
Yeah, there was an icing that was called off. Don't really know why, but it's the magic of video games.
There's a trip on Manitoba. Good quick shot by User. But there'll be a penalty on the Moose, and now San Jose with another power play. A lot of tripping calls.
Face-off win, but they kept it.
Good play in front. Dreamy. Nice save. Good positioning.
Dude, do you think Dreamy was a big part of the reason why you guys were able to really dominate this season?
Yeah, I think Dreamy played awesome. He was very passionate, as you all know. A lot of fun to play with, and just very good goalie. And I mean, first playoff series, he had 4 games played, and he gave up 1 goal.
Yeah. What's his? I know his shoutbox presence because we're both usually in there. But what's he like just with the team?
Well, he loves to play Fortnite like everyone else does, but I've never done that with him, so I don't know what he's like there. But in the regular season, like a lot of talking before the game, and sometimes during, like, giving advice in like the intermissions, but during the playoffs so far, he hasn't really talked much.
Good steal by Pasta there as Swag gets off another shot, and Pasta made that play. Absolutely did not want to give up on that opportunity. He wound up having, I think, Bob over on left D, not able to control the puck well enough, and then blocked the pass and got the puck back to P-Swag for another great shot.
Yeah, those point shots are tough. It's tough for goalies to stop those. That's another reason why I don't play it. It's too much pressure. Every time they come down, your heart starts beating more and more.
I think we're seeing a lot better passing now between everyone out there for San Jose. They're moving the puck better, but Pasta forechecking made that last goal happen. 1-0 Charlotte now. They're on a 5-on-3 power play, and it was Corbs with a goal at around 11:30 into the second period, giving them the 1-0 lead finally. First lead of the series.
I feel bad that we're not giving them as much attention as maybe we should. But man, that other game this CUDA game is riveting.
We'll bounce over in a minute once this second period's over. A minute left to go here. Opportunity, good quick shot on net. Sid able to make the save, and now Charlotte just now going up 2-0 with 5:04 left to go. Second goal for Corbs. Rebound opportunity in front as we're watching San Jose here in the last couple of seconds, and this period is now over. We'll flip on over now to the Charlotte game and take a look at this one as we see Charlotte up 2-0 under 4 minutes left to go here. The play has really gotten more tilted
loose
towards Charlotte's way, but yeah, it's certainly more loose, and I think that is absolutely in the favor of the Checkers.
Yeah, if the Devils can really close this down, get their trap going again, they may have a chance to come back from this. But if they're going to play the Checkers game, that's a tough one because they're offensive, but defense is where you really get your offense going with this team.
Good quick breakout.
3-on-2.
Look at that. Good quick breakout. Like you mentioned, 3-on-2, and finally popping open. I think that might have been Corbsy again, able to put in a rebound, but a good quick outlet pass being made there on that play, and I think that might have been Roscoe who made that right out of it, deep in his own zone, and all of a sudden it was a 3-on-2, and you get defensemen who know how to make a good, quick, accurate pass out of the zone. All of a sudden, you've got odd man opportunities.
Yeah, it's definitely beneficial to have them.
It was Corbs. He's got the hat trick. All 3 goes for Charlotte as they now enter in with less than a minute left to go in this period. We'll bounce back over to San Jose and Manitoba in a second once this period is over.
I'm not going to lie, I already switched back over. I'm your eyes and ears, my friend.
With Charlotte actually playing a much better game here, taking control of it. And that period comes to an end with Charlotte up 3-0. We'll switch back over to San Jose for the end of this one.
Yeah,
and then
Moose
we'll
just
join
took
up.
a penalty in the offensive zone, which is never a good penalty taken. Now the CUDA have an advantage.
San Jose, as you see, up 3-1, under 14 left to go in the third period. Working the puck.
They don't look like they want to give it to the defense to try and keep it low, but their defense has been working so well for them. I'm surprised they're not doing that.
Peacewag had a shot blocked, able to get another one on. Puck is loose in front of the net, and dangerous play there, but Dreamy covering it up. Still, as you see, 35 seconds on the power play remaining. And San Jose working back with it, not able to keep it in the zone. Good quick move by Pasta to keep it in the zone, bring it in, and keep it in. Boy, he's the last guy you want messing around behind the net with the puck.
Yeah, him or User. I got some flack from Pasta when I said that User likes to do raps as well. He's only done 4 all season. He had 2 goals the game before, and I've already seen him do rap maybe twice or 3 times tonight. So I don't know if that was deserved, but maybe he's just trying to keep it a secret.
As much as every goaltender like myself hates it, it's still part of the game. I mean,
it's so greasy.
It is, but there are a lot of greasy things about this game that we have no control over. So it's hard for me to get that upset by it, but
I do.
And a good quick opportunity there, and
that's a goal.
A little bit of issue with the defense trying to figure out where the puck was, and all of a sudden it was a good quick backhander by Locksta with his second goal of the game. 4-1 now.
4-1. He's got the grind on me, Selly.
And the way we saw Manitoba control the first game, we're seeing San Jose do now in the second game of the series.
Yeah, now that they're up 4-1, he's trying to see the defense pinch a bit more. And there's another goal as a result from the pinch to keep the play going. And it's 5-1 for the CUDA.
Good quick opportunity in front for a User, and he is able to put one home as we hit the 6-minute mark in this game with San Jose well in control of it. And now
Charlotte's having fun. They're 3-0 right now, but they're dangling, they're spinning, they're passing between their legs. They seem to be pretty happy. They're up 3-1 right now.
Hey, I don't want to put any more pressure on you, Dupe, but now the lines who haven't played for your team have a little more pressure to try and perform, or no? How do you feel about that?
I disagree. I mean, going into before these 2 games, did you think we'd win one? No.
No.
I
wasn't sure what I didn't know what the lineups would be.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised that these 2 big lines have gone both games in the first night here.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's hard. I mean, you're right. It's hard to say.
I'm surprised that they threw out their big line twice.
CUDA's left D seems to be glitching out. He was just sitting there by the left boards. So I don't know if he's lagging out or what's happening, but that could definitely affect something.
But my thought is, going into this, if they could go 1-1, I'd be happy. I mean,
You see 19 shots on goal for San Jose. Again, it's just almost a mirror of what we saw earlier with Manitoba being in control.
Yep.
If they've lost a defenseman, then they've lost a defenseman. There's nothing you can do about it. If their goaltender has gone out, then we may have an issue.
Yeah, it looks to be their left D.
We'll quickly flip over. No, they're coming back here. But as you see, Charlotte still up 3-0 here, 2.5 left to go. We'll flip back over to San Jose and Manitoba for the last minute and a half of this game.
And the Binghamton just got a goal to make it 3-1 with a Yeah, it was a nice play. Goalie slid way out of position. He just got a nice little wraparound around the other side. So
Bennett with his
3-1.
fourth goal today, his first in this game, fourth tonight.
He's having a good time.
Under a minute now with San Jose just trying to wrap this one up and be thankful that they didn't drop two of their top line here. That's, again, danger of playing your top line both of these games. But looks like they're going to come away 1-1, heading back with Manitoba, being able to be the home team for the next two.
Bing just got a breakaway, 3-2.
3-2 now.
42 seconds left in that game, and I think we may switch over because that one's got a little more ramification to talk about. They're going to be out of a break here in about 15 seconds, so we'll switch over and watch that one shortly.
Yeah, this starts getting me antsy. Third period, goal is trying to go the other way. Got some DDA on your side. This that really starts razzling you a bit. You got to take a timeout. You got to relax, talk to your people, and just dump it down. Try to get away from your zone as much as possible.
As we see San Jose wraps that one up, winning 5-1 now. We will flip over and take a look at the other game. Devils and Checkers. They're still showing the replay here, as you can see. So now 42.2 left to go in this game. Charlotte up 3-2.
There's an offside, 38 seconds left. More on the Charlotte's defensive side. Big face-off win, though.
Checkers just trying to control it. There's a trip on Binghamton. And that's a bad penalty at this point.
You're going to see if there's a face-off win, you're going to see them run. Oh, no, they lost it. Oh, and there they go. And there's a breakaway.
Now with this break.
And he didn't get it.
Missed it.
Huge.
Goaltender gets knocked out of the net, but still able to be in position. Golden opportunity there for Binghamton, not able to do anything with it. Ford checking hard, trying to get another breakout. 2-on-1, now back 2-on-2. Pass in front and a goal.
Oh, man, so grimy. I can't believe this just happened.
Wow.
That's bad. You got to get that puck deep. You have a power play with like 15 seconds left and a 1-goal lead. How do you not just get the puck deep?
Yeah,
you can't
absolutely.
turn it over at the blue line.
Absolutely. And that's just, but that's so frustrating.
It's amazing because that is that's a situation where you've got that extra man and how they're able to come down, on an odd man rush trying to kill a penalty is beyond me. I'm not sure why there weren't more guys from the Checkers back to help out.
And that's right after they gave up a breakaway opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely. After that, I mean, any defenseman worth their weight in anything will be like, okay, if they got behind me once, now late in the game, we're still up by 1. I am not letting anybody get behind me.
Yeah, that would be the regular thought of a regular defenseman. But you have to remember, this team is a below-average team throughout the season, so you kind of have to keep that in mind. They're not the top brass.
It was such a Checkers game pretty much the whole way, and the Devils not giving up and staying in this one. Now have a chance to take a 2-0 lead in this series. And that's the kind of thing that could really screw you up if you're on Charlotte. You feel like you've controlled this game the whole way, and all of a sudden now you're playing overtime.
Yeah, they're bumping into each other. They're kind of razzled. They're not really sure what to do right now. Things are bouncing off cankles, and it's not looking good.
Devils back the other way, trying to find someone out front. Puck is loose behind the net.
Devils still have it. Go for a 1T, but got broken up.
Boy, and I tell you what, here's the problem that you could wind up seeing with Charlotte. You may have several guys who want to do it themselves at this point.
Yeah, the team that starts using their defense more is probably going to be the team that wins this. Just spread it out a bit, make them chase, and then get it back down low.
Corbs has played well today. Skillsy's played fairly well as well. Puck in front. Push
You're still
aside.
missing a player there.
Devils back the other way, broken up though. Skillsy now trying to find some room. He gets knocked off the puck, but Roscoe gets it ahead now. Frills to Skillsy out front, back to the point. Good quick shot is blocked in front. Good defensive play by the Devils to knock that down.
And it's important to note that right now it is not their top goalie in net for the Devils. So they took this opportunity after winning one to, well, yes, they knew beforehand, but they wanted to spread it out, I'd assume.
Another opportunity right in front.
Ooh. Little user pass the connection going on there. But to no avail. And
Charlotte.
there's a power play for Charlotte.
They're going to get an opportunity here. Final shots, San Jose 19, Manitoba 8 in that 5-1 victory. 7 minutes to 3:24 time on attack. So definitely a turnaround. Pasta again, face-off 16-7. That's a typical San Jose game that we were used to seeing. Good opportunity in front, but another save there by Demon. So power play still going on for Charlotte. 1:15 left to go there.
Another face off the Devils, and they tried to get out, but we're not able to. And it's being kept in deep.
Roscoe trying to find some opening. Gets it across to Corbs. Back to Roscoe for a shot. Big Skillsy blocked that one for him.
There's a little drag and wiggles. There's some drag and wiggles here.
Tries to get it out front. Puck being fought for. No frills. Able to help get it free. Pass out front to him by Skillsy. Doesn't get there and now cleared out. Hitting the 6-minute mark. Yeah, it'll be an icing. Devils have had the kill, so now that they're back at even strength, we'll see how this goes. But missed opportunity there.
And
now a break.
Wait for the Devils.
Loose puck break.
Oh, big poke check, and he was caught by the defenseman.
God of America just getting a right pan on that, stopping it. Flip into the zone. Frills tries to chase him, but it's cleared out by Peace. He'll get it back now and try and start out for the Devils.
Oh, he's just walking through the whole team.
Under 3 minutes to go in this first overtime. That might be a trip
on Charlotte, so Devils are going to get a power play. 2 minutes left. Dude, were you watching any of this and just kind of seeing what they do if you guys win the series?
I don't know that I'm thinking that far ahead, but I'm watching it. And silently judging.
You're judging?
You don't have to be silent. You can actually voice an opinion if you want to.
I was going to say.
I'm not a fan of stepping on toes.
Oh, well, that's for me and you different, my friend.
I know Ceeg isn't silently judging. She's just silent at this point.
Yeah.
I'm just tired fighting a sinus infection.
Oh,
did you congratulate Pasta yet for his win?
I have not. Got a sad dreamy though.
Yeah. I'm going to send Dreamy a nice little dick pic after.
Don't think he's going to appreciate that, but, you know, your communication is your communication. Almost a break, flip pass out there. Couldn't find Corbs well enough there. And now the Devils back the other way. Now Corbs with a steal. He's got one man to beat. Stops with it. Gets off a shot that Demon had a little bit of an issue handling, but kept it in front of him.
And the Devils are trying to dangle now, and that's not what you want to see. You want to see a full team play here, and they're starting to get shut down too. They're starting to lose what they were doing. Go D to D a bit, move things around.
It's always good to have a power play late in the period because those last few seconds take forever. But this power play is about to be done here. In the last couple of seconds of this overtime, the Devils come back the other way. Good hit by Corbs to knock one of the Devils off the puck. And now 1.4 left to go in this overtime.
This could be a goal right here. It's more than enough time.
Face off deep in the Charlotte zone. They win it.
Nope. And this is going to double overtime. This feels familiar.
You see the Checkers still holding on to a 15-9 shots on goal advantage. Really their game for the most part, and just not able to put it away when they needed to.
They let them have, I think, like 4 breakaways in the third. You just can't do that.
Yeah, that's some lazy defenseman work right there.
We'll hit the second overtime. Again, TSibs, Ceeg, AdvancedHuman, and our special guest right now, Jack Dupe. Good quick shot on net there.
Missed the net, but that was a great opportunity for the Devils.
Now Corb's trying to move out with it. Frills.
A little lag spike there.
Corb's with the steal, gets it up to no frills. Good poke check there. Gets it out of the way.
Twice in a row.
Puck loose in the slot. Skillsy can't control it. Out of the zone again. Devils back the other way. Good quick pass behind the net. Trying to find someone out front. That shot gets pushed aside.
It looked more like a wraparound attempt that just missed. Oh, he had the wide open side and didn't even see it. Passed it up front and lost it.
Yeah, it looked like Boog, I think, who didn't see that he had a side of a net open.
When you're this late in the game too, you start trying to look for the pass more, look for the more traditional goals, and you don't see those grimy ones.
Charlotte trying to regroup here.
And this is what you'd expect. This is the Charlotte defense that you expect to see when you think of them winning a game.
Roscoe able to get a little bit of the body there on Bennett. Puck kept in, tripping call now. Charlotte going to get the power play. A little bit of apprehensive play, though, it looks like. I mean, we're not seeing a lot of attacking here necessarily.
No, this is a lot of losing it. They're getting into each other's zone and losing it instead of the neutral zone.
Good quick shot. Demon was there, ready for it. Good opportunity
they need to move
for
the puck.
Yeah.
Like they're beating guys and then deking back into them and just pass it, make a pass or two, and then shoot. Keep it simple.
Devils try and clear it out. Finally do. Minute left to go in the Charlotte power play. 10 minutes left to go in the second overtime. Puck stolen, controlled now by the Devils, trying to work something out front. Good defense there by Roscoe, trying to keep the play outside. Finally, Charlotte back the other way. Roscoe, though, gives it away. Offside. 9 seconds left to go on the power play opportunity for Charlotte. And Binghamton close to killing us.
You're starting to see the Binghamton play the defense that they know how to play, and they're doing a lot. They're getting a lot of interceptions in the neutral zone.
Good play coming back on defense for the Checkers.
Yeah, if they keep playing the way they're doing right now, they're probably going to win this game.
Icing sends it back the other way against Binghamton. Face off deep in their zone. That pass, good quick pass, but not a quick enough shot there by No Frills. Puck loose. Now the Devils start out with it.
They got a room on the left side.
A quick shot on God of America. The puck is loose to his right. Finally does cover it up as Dominator almost poked it in on his own goaltender.
God, those pads are hideous. He looks like a clown.
Now back the other way, 2-on-2. Opportunity, but poke check nicely by Mafia as the Devils start out the other way. 5 minutes left to go in the second overtime. No one's willing to take a chance to make a mistake here. We're seeing some slow, plodding movement into the zone. Yeah. Charlotte, puck is loose, sitting there right under Demon, but no one there to poke it home.
He almost put it in his own net there for a second. When you can't pick that up and it just hits your stick and bounces, you never know where that puck's going to end up going.
Charlotte controlling the face-off, now out of the zone. This looks so much like that game we saw the other night. In overtime, apprehensive teams taking their time getting in the zone.
Yeah, this is the trap defense that they specialize in.
Now they come out with it. Pass a little bit too long there for Bennett. Roscoe trying to flip it into the zone, but puts it over the glass, and the faceoff just outside the Devils' zone. Under 2 minutes here. Second overtime. Frills gets it over to Corbs. He loses it. Gets it back. Struggling for that to keep it in. Still fighting for it. Relentless right now, but finally out of the zone.
There's a trip on the checkers, so the Devils will be getting a power play with 1 minute and 30 seconds left.
And again, you're getting a power play late in the period, so you get the slow last minute. Actually, slow minute and a half here. This gives you a good deal more time than the average power play to get something going. Working with the puck, good quick shot. Good point blank slot shot on God, but God of America able to make the save.
Yeah, he's playing very individually. Once you get that deke off, try to move it around, dump it, do something.
Under a minute here in the second overtime. Binghamton still on the power play. Good quick pass out front and a shot, but America there right in the center of the net. Good positioning, able to make the save. Game saver there. Devils trying to keep it in. Skillsy gets it out. 40 seconds in the second overtime. Can't get the puck in deep. Chance to try and throw it in there. Good play. Skillsy coming back to help out, jamming up the middle, and finally the puck is cleared out as we hit 20 seconds left to go in this second overtime. Binghamton still on the power play. If this continues, they'll still have more time in the next period. Good quick pass in front. Puck is loose after God of America makes a save. Finally covers up. 9 seconds. Charlotte able to get it out of the zone. Almost. Now they do. Period is over.
The period.
Triple overtime for game number 2.
This isn't exactly what I wanted to see. I was kind of hoping for a quick game, but it is exciting.
And the time, I tell you what, the time you put into this game too. If you're Charlotte after leading the way they did, and then you go 3 overtimes and lose it, that can really hurt a team.
Yeah, you take a shot and you cry yourself to sleep. And you just don't touch that shout box for the rest of the day.
We start the third overtime. Back the other way, Charlotte. Corb's trying to work it in, but not able to do so.
And the penalty is over for the Charlotte Checkers. So it's even strength, but the Devils keep it in their zone.
Good poke check there by Dominator to avert a 2-on-1 right in front of the net. Puck still loose behind the net. Good fight for it, finally coming out with it. Roscoe, and he clears it all the way down. No icing called on this one. Devils will start back out the other way.
I think the refs are starting to get tired too. Starting to miss some calls.
Let's let them play.
Let's let them play. And here's the Devils, and this is the situation we're talking about where there's one guy just trying to do it instead of bringing it back and restarting your line.
It's like if when you get this deep in, it's like you forget everything that you did, like that you were planning to do when the game started.
Yeah, that's exactly what it's like. And I always try to yell at my guys when situations, just restart, give it to the defense, bring it back, and restart. Because right now you're just doing circles in the neutral zone.
Charlotte trying to set up, wasn't able to get anything going quite yet. Now Skillsy loses it, now back the other way, partial break.
Breakaway.
And a good play coming back by Corbs to break that one up. Now finally, Skillsy gets it out over to Corbs on the left side. Trying to get past his defender. Tried to throw it back behind the net for Skillsy, but good defensive play there. Breaks it up. Now out front. Good opportunity there, not able to be capitalized on. Looked like it was maybe Boog who had an opportunity there.
Yeah, but the clown got the better of him.
Puck being fought for. Rixey gets pokes it behind the net. Good opportunity.
Wow. What a fancy move with that backspin shot, but unfortunately, it looked like it almost went behind the goalie, through his crease and back out.
Another quick pass out front to the slot, not able to connect. Devils making a lot of passes, trying to get things started. They're just not connecting right now with them.
No, they're keeping it low, and the Checkers aren't protecting the defense at all, and for some reason, they're just not giving it to them. I don't know if they're not speaking up or something, but they're being left out there on their own.
Puck loose, whipped around, but good play by Corbs to keep it in and get a shot on net. Now he's on the other side of the ice following up, trying to keep that puck in there, but the Devils will start out. 5.5 left to go in this third overtime. This one's going quickly. The Devils still working. Good opportunity out front. Not able to wrap it. Looked like that might have been Bennett trying to wrap it, but not able to do so. Now Skillsy looking to try and get in front. Good break up there by Rixer, who's coming back to help out on D. Now the puck loose.
Unable to clear it out. Ooh, it's dangerous. If you don't get that out quick enough, and there's a good forecheck, you can get caught deep.
Puck is loose again now. Good quick pass out front, but nice play by Skillsy to get back and break it up. 2 minutes left to go in this third overtime.
There's an errant deke, and the Devils were able to pick it back up in the neutral zone. And they're just dangling, but they did draw a penalty, so Checkers going back on the penalty kill. And we seem to be back in the box, thanks to Frills.
Pass, good shot, getting a good glove save there by God of America now. Trying to clear it out. Skillsy finally does get it out. And again, Binghamton lucky getting this power play late in the period. It's a very slow-moving clock right now.
Yeah, they got time.
The third period in a row where they've gotten a period with less than 2 minutes to go.
Yeah. Good swipe forward, and now Corbs is starting up with it, trying to get something moving, but he can't. Now back the other way, the Devils come. 3-on-3, though. Flip behind the net. Tries to get it out front for Bennett, but he can't connect. And now back the Devils come the other way. 1 minute left to go in the third overtime. Binghamton still on the power play, though, for the rest of this period, if need be. Good pass back to the point. Blocker save. Now again, shot to the point. Puck is loose, and now Skillsy the other way. Trying to kill this penalty out as much as he can. Now he's got a 2-on-1 and not able to connect on the other side with Corbs. Good opportunity there, but a good breakup by Peace. And now back the other way almost as, again, Corbs is able to bring up the pass, but the Devils come out. 20 seconds left to go in the period. Back to the point. Shot is blocked and stick broken on the Dominator. Now the puck is loose in front. Good hold by God of America's. Dominator blocked that shot, but also broke his stick and was not able to help out. The whistle. He's able to get some more lumber. Charlotte trying to clear out. They can't. Devils hold on. Puck in front. Nothing doing, and we're going to go to the 4th overtime.
Yay.
Siege, it's okay. You can curse tonight right now if you want to.
I'm good. I'm just silently raging. Like, I'm glad that the Devils tied it up. I wish that maybe they got like 2 goals really quick into that third, though.
Yeah, they started using their defense near the end of that period. That was nice to start getting some more opportunities, some more shots. Maybe if they get it some low, get some rebounds, they can finish one, because the Checkers don't seem to be doing too much in the offensive zone.
Overtime number 4. Binghamton starts out 10 seconds on the power play. And that is over. Teams at full strength now, and the Devils come back the other way. Rixey could not get it across onside.
4 overtimes in, your hands start getting sweaty. You start gripping the stick a bit harder, thinking you got to be that one guy to do it. And that can just kind of prolong this as well. So if they started playing as a team, start giving it to the defense, they might have a chance here.
Look for that mental lapse. Like, the game's been going so long. It's like 2 full games. More than 2 full games. Someone's going to make a mistake.
Yep.
Skillsy trying to get up front there. Choice. Good opportunity. Not able to really get a clean enough pass over to No Frills.
Yeah, the Devils' trap is starting to break a little bit.
It's hard to be that solid on something like that, period after period. Good quick shot on net. Blocker puts it over the net. Now out front again. Opportunity there for Bennett, but he can't find a shot. Now No Frills. Shot is blocked. Back the other way. Pass up now. Opportunity in front, shot blocked there nicely by Corbs, helping out on D. Puck is just out of the zone, and offsides is called.
Devils are able to win the faceoff on a stick lift, but we're poked out. We're able to keep it, and are now into their zone.
Good quick move.
Through.
Oh, man. What a chance.
Nice save by God of America. Sliding to his right, staying with the puck. Good save. Charlotte wins, clearing it out. Skillsy gets tripped. That'll be a penalty.
Yeah, you don't want to do that this late in the game.
Charlotte getting an opportunity now in the power play.
Well, the Devils cleared out the best they can, but it went off the butt of one of their forwards.
Ooh, good play and a nice follow-up by Corbs with the backhand, and he wins it here in overtime number 4.
Hooray.
3.5 periods worth to play. Finally gives Charlotte the victory they probably should have had back in the 3rd period.
Absolutely. Brought the series to 1-1, and it'll make things a little more interesting for tomorrow.
Corbs with all 4 goals, 3 assists by Epic Skillsy for the Checkers in this one. And so The final 4-3 in 4 overtimes for the Charlotte Checkers, and they now bring the series up at 1 apiece. And oof, what a long night it's been watching hockey. But we'll quickly go over these for a couple of minutes here, try and wrap it up and get out of here because it's getting late for everybody, and Advance has to get to work in a few hours. So we'll.
It's true.
Let me just quickly thank Dupe for being with us tonight. Listen, good luck with the games coming up, and
Thank you.
I gotta believe there's not much of a different strategy, no matter who you're playing against San Jose. You pretty much have to go out and play the same style every night.
Yeah, and I mean I think going in I don't think even us, we didn't go in expecting seeing the lines they're throwing out to win 2. We're hoping to take 1 from them.
Mm-hmm.
So we're, happy with where we are. And I'd also like to add before I leave that you guys were saying how, you think when you saw that Dreamy was in that the second game. I love Dreamy. But don't give disrespect to my boy, Dr. Nasty. He went 10-0
He's
in the regular
undefeated,
season.
yeah. He's undefeated, but I'm just saying that.
And he had a sub-2 goals against average in the regular season, too.
He does. He is a very decent goalie.
No, you're allowed to make the case, absolutely.
So I wanted to defend him a little bit.
Shout out.
Well, he certainly did well in the first game, that's for sure.
I'll also add that he was upset that game hurt his save percentage because he faced more shots.
It was 50%. Yeah.
All right, dude. Well, listen again. Thanks for joining us tonight. Good luck in your upcoming games in the next night or two.
Thank you. I'll gladly come back after this series to talk. Hopefully, with a big smile on my face. But
that'd be nice.
That would be nice.
All right, buddy.
All right, thanks for having me.
Take it easy. We'll talk to you later.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
Later. Jack Dupe joining us in the broadcast tonight, and he's got some games coming up that he needs to play soon. Let's wrap this one up a little bit in what we saw from these 2 series tonight. Again, San Jose and Manitoba playing their top lines. I think we were all a little surprised about that. I don't know if we're surprised about the outcome, though. I think when you put that kind of firepower out there for both teams, 1-1, not a surprise, is it, guys?
No, it could go either way. I was surprised that the Cuda pretty much just shit the bed in the first game, but they were luckily able to recoup and re-energize and get back in the second game and slide into the Moose's DM successfully, get a couple goals and win that game.
Any surprises on your end, Siege, from that series? For going 1-1 at this point, San Jose having the struggle in the first game, but come back and play their game. Really, game 2. Yeah,
no surprise. Looking at the lineups, I thought it was going to be 1-1 at the end of the night. The Cuda to just come out game 1 the way that they did, but definitely didn't expect them to kind of repeat. I knew that they were going to bounce back and just play their game and come out a little angry.
Do we see anything out of the ordinary in the Checkers Devils series? Obviously, again, these teams as well playing their lines for both games. The Devils really controlling the first game from start to finish, and the Checkers looked like they had it for most of the way and needed to win this one after the way that third period went down. They needed to win this one to try and keep their confidence up. But are we surprised by anything here? I may have picked the Checkers, but I did it in 7. I kind of feel like it's going to be a close series back and forth like this the whole way. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, I agree. I went with Devils, and I think I only said it would take 6. Kind of hoped that they would end the night tonight 2-0, but it didn't happen.
Right.
Yeah, I wasn't surprised by the way they came out in the first game. I thought that's exactly what was going to happen. Second game, they kind of went off kilter from what their goal was, I think, in defensive-wise anyway, and they kind of played a much more sloppy game. Let the Checkers into an opportunity where they can flourish. And then they got DD8 at the end and was able to get tied up. But they took in took it in the final at 4 overtimes. So I still give it to the Devils in 5.5.
5.5. Yes, that's right.
5.5.
That half game. I'm telling you, he keeps laying odds. It's kind of a little concerning here. All right. We will talk about tomorrow night's coverage. We'll see who's going to be on just yet. We don't know, but we'll post something tomorrow to let you know what's going on for tomorrow night's coverage. Any final thoughts from you guys, Advanced, before you take off here?
I don't think the CUDA will go into a game, no matter what line, easy going like that again. Mm-hmm. So these should be much closer games. And on the other side, mediocrity is mediocrity, and it's always fun when they're both equally bad. So we'll get to enjoy that.
Ceeg?
The East is just kind of tough to watch. So my focus is really the West, but I mean, I'm looking forward to it. They're both going to be a good series. All
right, well, that wraps it up for us here. Another interesting night of playoff hockey here on LG. I'm glad that you folks were able to join us tonight. Hopefully you'll be with us again for the upcoming games for later on this week, and we'll get that scheduled out to you as soon as we can. Again, both series now tied up at 1 apiece, Charlotte and Binghamton, as well as San Jose and Manitoba. We will see where they go the rest of the way. Thanks again to Ceeg and to AdvancedHuman for joining me today, and we will talk to you folks soon on our next broadcast. This is TSibs saying so long.